uncertain episode of Gman Fishing. Don't know what we're going to catch. Don't know if we're going to catch anything. But we're live streaming. And we've caught a couple fish this morning, but not too many. Caught 3 different species this morning. We've caught a pike minnow, a largemouth bass, and a catfish. So, the weather wasn't the weather wasn't supposed to be like this today. It was supposed to be partly sunny and not rainy, but it decided to rain on us. It decided to do something it said it wasn't going to do. I'm not worried about it though. I'm fishing. So, here we are. Trying to catch another fish for you guys. What up? What? What up? What have you been up to, man? Out here trying to catch a fish, y'all. But yeah, so we've not caught the desired species, but every species is desired, even if it's not the crappie. Hopefully we're gonna rip some lips and terrorize some fish. Well, not really terrorize them, but you know what I mean. We're just out here trying to have a good old time. What up, Josh? Of all trades. Saturday fishing is right. You know we're gonna be doing that, even if it's raining on us. Making it colder than what it was. Work, and a little work, huh? Is that all you do? Is work? You know you gotta have some fun sometime, right? But yeah, we decided to go live. Give her a go. See if we can't catch some live stream fish, because we ain't catching too many outside of the live stream. So, of course, I wasn't expecting it to be raining. So, here we are. It slowed down quite a bit. It didn't really get too bad, but enough to make you wet anyways. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Appreciate that, y'all. Say hi, hi. Hi, everybody. How you guys doing today? I'm doing lovely. Ooh, the wife has joined us. She likes to join us on these live stream editions. Sweet. Stay Redmond, stay fishy, Redmond, Oregon. Piper Monroe, is that how you say it? Nice for you guys to join us. In my base, so forever, or however you say that. How you doing? Glad you guys could join us. Hey, we're up to 11 watchers so far. Hey, that's pretty good. Let's get those numbers up. Hello. Oh, we've gotten 3 species and 4 different 4 fish. So we've gotten 2 largemouth, 1 pike minnow, and 1 catfish. I need 1 more to have the grand slam, y'all. 1 more species. Y'all be praying we get 1 more species, and hopefully we'll catch a couple fish during the live stream. I was thinking about doing a catch and cook during the live stream, but so far the catching hadn't been as fire as I had hoped it would have been for a catch and cook. So we're probably still gonna catch some fish. We probably just ain't gonna do it on the live stream like I was thinking we was gonna do. I missed a really nice one on the worm bobber. I don't know what he was. I missed him though. One little bullhead catfish. Two. I got one largemouth, and my buddy over there, he got a largemouth too. So he's my guest um, this week on Gman Fishing. He's my coworker. He likes catfish, and he likes bass, and he likes everything in between. So I thought, why not invite him out fishing with me? That's what any good coworker would do, right? Invite the coworker out to fish if they like to fish. Can't wait to go to the John Day this year. Didn't get to go out there at all last year, but this year we're going. I was hoping the catfish was gonna be biting better, but so far just one catfish. Well, the reason why you haven't had a rat's nest yet is because you haven't used it yet, right? Right? That's very true. That's very true. But he's down the ways a little bit, so that's why he's not on camera. So, but I'm glad he wanted to go fishing today. So I was just hoping that the fishing was going to be better than this, but the clouds are supposed to go away this afternoon, and we're supposed to get a little sunshine. So maybe the fishing will pick up. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I figured, why not go ahead and live stream and see what happens, and either we catch them or we don't. One of the two. I just would soon be catching them when I'm live streaming than not catching them, but unfortunately, that's the way it goes sometimes, you know. Seems like more often than not on these live streams. But hey, on Wednesday's live stream, man, we knocked them out. We caught quite a few of them well, at the 60-minute mark, but still, we caught a few of them. It took us all day to start catching them, but we finally got a couple to bite on. I think we landed four casts at the 60-minute mark, or shortly after the 60-minute mark, something like that. So that's always a plus. Hopefully in May, towards the end of May, the water starts to warm up a little more because it's still a little cold. That's why we're having a hard time catching the bass and the crappie, because the water's still a little cold. It has gotten a little warmer, but not as much as I would hope. See, we got it was a double gulp minnow rig for crappie, but the crappie just weren't biting, so I still got one gulp minnow on, and I put a night crawler on underneath, and then it's underneath the float, so we're still using a float. It's fishing about 7.5 feet deep, something like that. All right, man, I'll let you know when I go catfishing. You know I will. Catfishing and friends is always a good time. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Here, fishy. I was just hoping the fishing was going to be better than this, but hey, that's why it's called fishing and not catching, right? So basically, I'm just throwing it out there. I was just letting the wind and the waves do all the work, but now I decided just to work it a little more aggressively. It's not really all that much more aggressively. I'm just throwing it out there and working it in a lot more instead of throwing it out there and letting it just drift on its own, because I'm hoping that'll get me more bites than just throwing it out there and letting it drift. Got 2 more cat pulls, huh? Is that all you like to catch is catfish, man? I know you like the catfish, but man, you got what, 20 catfish rods and the rest are catfish rods? Haven't you ever heard of multi-species fishing, man? Come on, fish. These nice folks on YouTube want to see you. I guess I could show them the one in the basket if I wanted to bad enough, but maybe not. Got a little excited there. You, wife, the only reason why you want to go to John Day is so you can play in the water all day long. You don't want to do nothing but play in the water. You don't want to cook. You don't want to clean. You don't want to do nothing but play in the water all day when we go to John Day. Yeah, the vortex of terror. Yeah. Of course, I didn't really think it was all that terrible. But you and the kids seem to like that little spot pretty good. I don't blame you. It's fun. Of course, the kids are all grown up now. So, all grown up. Yeah. Well, how come I ain't never seen you fishing them small streams where the trout are by the house? Yep, I'm just scared to, something just scared the geese off. Got them all excited. Oh, I guess you might be right there, I guess, right? Check this other rod. Been sitting out there for a moment. The one that's supposed to be catching all the catfish. Hi, man. Be safe. Have a good day at work. Say, just a simple egg. Power egg. And a night crawler for the catfish we got going on there. That's what we got the catfish on. And a egg weight. That's also a trout rig too. So, but I'll take whatever bites. Not too picky about that. I just want to catch fish for you guys. Pretty deep out there. Last time I was here, the water wasn't quite all the way. The water levels were a lot lower. They weren't so full. Now they're all full and stuff like that. The fishing pier is all the water's all the way up to the fishing pier now. Is it raining in Redmond or Redmond too? Wow. Redmond and the reservoir. Nice. How is my fishing rod set up? Okay, I'll go over the float rod first. First, I got an 8.6 medium Akuma SST. So it's going to be a light action rod. I've got a 2500 Shimano reel. It's a Nexvin, or however you say it, with some 8-pound Power Pro braid. I might not have said this, but it's an 8.6 rod. And then I've got a 10-pound bumper leader, and I'll show you that when I bring it in. An 8-pound bumper leader, and then also a 4-pound leader. So it goes from 8-pound to 10-pound to 4-pound. So I'll reel that in and I'll show you real quick my setup. So what I've got here is I've got a simple float rig. What I do is I got a float stop on my 10-pound bumper line. This little red thing is my float stop. And then I got a bead. And then I got a sliding cork, is what I got, down to another float stop beneath it, okay? Then I got another bead. And then I got a bullet weight, a really small bullet weight, just to give it enough weight to sink. And then I got a barrel swivel. Then I got a Aberdeen number 8 hook with a Gulp Alive minnow, 1 inch. And then I've got another Aberdeen hook with a night crawler on it. And that's 4-pound that the leader with the Aberdeen hooks and the Gulp minnow on it. And then my other one is, I'll pull it up because I don't and stuff like that. And then the other one's my 1000 series Shimano Katina. It's on a 7'6" light action Okuma Cascade Pro. It's an basically an ultralight, rated for 4 to 10-pound tests. It's the Elite Series IM8. That's what I'm using on that one. And it's straight up 4-pound test. Straight up 4-pound test. And that's those two setups. And then I've got my casting rod, where I use a lot of casting gear on it. So then I got my ultralight bait casting, my BFS, Shimano Corrado, with a 15-pound braid and an 8-pound bumper. And then I got a baby baller by Z-Man with the Z-Man Ned jig head. And that's what I'm using today. Hopefully that helps you out a little. Fishing has definitely been slow. Water is still cold. Um, but it's getting to the temperatures to where the fish are starting to get a little more active though. So that's a plus. And yeah, you're welcome. I was hoping the bite was going to be fire today, but after I got out here and found out that the sun wasn't coming out like it said it was yesterday when I looked at the weather report, makes a little more different. But when the sun came out, we had a couple bites then, and then the sun went right back away, and then it started raining on us. So my coworker, he caught a dandy of a largemouth bass. Not a monster, but he caught a dandy of one. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. People don't like seeing me catch nothing. They want to see what I'm catching. Going way over that way. And then work it in. I was hoping I'd catch a trout because the trout was pretty active this morning, but couldn't even get them to bite. Glad you guys could join us though today. That's for sure, even if we are catching nothing. 8-pound largemouth. Well, biggest largemouth. Biggest smallmouth is 4.5 pounds. So there's definitely some big fish here. Definitely some big fish. What's the biggest fish you caught out of here? Out of Prineville Res? Oh, nice. Nice. That's a good fish. 2 pounds is always a good fish. Always. I can't complain about a 2-pound fish any day of the week. I don't know anybody who'd complain about a 2-pound fish. Absolute beauts for sure. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Share too, please. That helps out the channel. Yeah, definitely a lot of nice sized smallmouth in here. Not uncommon to catch a 2-pound smallmouth out of here. I don't think you're gonna catch them daily, but I mean, if you fish out here enough, you're gonna catch a handful of them in a year. for sure. See, basically what I'm doing is just working my lure and worm and trying to find those active fish is what I'm doing with that. And that's why I'm throwing it out there and just kind of working it in. That's what I was doing when I was throwing the baby baller and stuff, but it only caught the one pike minnow. So I decided to throw out there and try and get a catfish, and I got one before the live stream. So I haven't gotten a fish since I started live streaming though. But hopefully we're gonna hit one in the nose or two in the nose here and a fish, and who knows. Y'all, you guys enjoying your Saturday? It stopped raining anyways, and that's a plus, right? That's a plus. Now, if only we could get the fish to cooperate. So, I would put the camera on the float or the other rod, but there ain't nothing happening. So I'm just like, yeah. At least if it's on me, you guys got something to look at, even if it ain't much. Depth check. So it's a little more than 8 feet deep at that moment. At that point. Catfish and mostly catfish and carp and bass is what I fish for over there on the John Day with the wife. Those channel catfish is what we fish for over there, and they're a lot bigger than these little bullhead catfish in Prineville Reservoir. Bass generally aren't all that much bigger, but I have caught some really nice bass out there though on the John Day River. So, but mostly fishing for catfish over there. I have fished for steelhead on that river, but I ain't never had no luck. I have caught carp on that river and definitely a lot of bass. Yeah, definitely got some good bass in there. And plus over there, there's no limit on the bass at um, on the John Day, and there's no limit on the catfish. So that always makes it nice too. Go over there because you can fill up a cooler when they're biting. Usually when I catch the carp, it's on accident. Um, don't get me wrong, I have intentionally fished for them, but usually when I intentionally fish for them, like what I would fish for them in Missouri where I grew up. But I haven't had any luck doing that here. And plus, um, I don't know that they're not accustomed to eating strawberry soda pop and Wheaties like they are in Missouri. Because that's usually what we use for carp bait in Missouri is strawberry soda pop and Wheaties and some corn. I've never gotten them to bite on that stuff here. So, but I would definitely like to learn how to catch the carp better because I like catching them. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. some people say they feel like just a log, but I think those guys are probably using too heavy of line if they feel like just a log. Because all the carp I've ever caught in my lifetime fought really, really well. I've only caught one carp on the John Day River, and that was a handful there. I hooked him on an 8-pound test, and he took me for a ride. I'm telling you. Well, sun's starting to try to come out, so maybe the fishing's going to get better. Maybe I can reel in the catfish rod and start throwing something else. I just felt like, if I'm working hard and not catching them, I might as well just throw a line out there and let it set. And I can slowly work this if that's what it takes to catch a fish. But I mean, I've had one bite on the float rig today, and that's it. Usually on a float rig, I catch more fish on that. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun shooting a carp with the bow. Does he eat the carp though, or is he just shooting them to get rid of them? Carp aren't the worst eating fish in the world, so that's why I asked if he's just shooting them to get rid of them, or is he shooting them to eat them? Cool, nice. I just don't like it when people waste them. That's good to know that they're not just out there shooting them and letting them go to waste. Well, I guess they don't technically go to waste, but because there's always something that's going to eat them. But still, it's always nice to see when people are when they're doing stuff like that they're actually eating them instead of just you know wasting them. Technically it's not wasting them, but you get what I'm saying. Come on, fish. These guys want to see a fish, not hear me talk about a fish all day. I mean, technically, I could show you a fish. I got a fish in the basket. Just a slow day of fishing for you guys. I want to get excited. I want it to start getting on fire so I can get excited for you guys. I mean, I am excited. Don't get me wrong. But if you guys ever see me catching a fish on a live stream, you know what I'm talking about. I get excited. I mean, real excited. I'm just gonna let it sit out there for a while, I guess. I don't know. Ain't nothing working today. It's so good that I see. I got one fish in the basket. One little fish in the basket. I want about 20 more fish in the basket though. For real. Hey, somebody got a fish on way down there. Oh. Something's chasing fish. Maybe it's gonna start getting fire here. Maybe I need to pull in one rod and start throwing some gear, because if they're chasing, that means the fish is gonna start getting good, I think. I just seen a whole bunch of them busting top right down there. That usually means that they're chasing. And it is starting to warm up a little bit too. Maybe it's because it stopped raining or whatever, but definitely feels like it's starting to warm up a little bit. So it's a good day for fishing too, y'all. For real. Good day for fishing. Of course, every day is a good day to be fishing. The time we're doing this. Thinking about doing another sturgeon trip here pretty quick. Catch and release, of course, but still, it's always nice to go out and catch them and release them. It's always fun. Man, it just got dead calm out here. Water, wind, very little, no wind now. Stopped raining. But still, the bite's not really all that good. Really not all that good yet. I'm hoping it picks up, though. Mm-hmm. All I seen was that one school of fish busting top, and then it went dead. Maybe that was my one chance, one opportunity, and I wasn't ready for it. I don't know. I wish the crappies were biting better. I wish anything was biting better. When it comes right down to it, I just want to catch fish. It ain't gotta be any specific. It just gotta be a fish, y'all. Just a fish. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. Is a fish. Beautiful day though. Beautiful day. And I'm spending it with you guys. Yay. It is. I think after we're done with the live stream, we're gonna probably maybe go try a different spot out. See if we can't find a fish someplace else. You just never know. I just thought, well, I'm here. It was 10. Might as well live stream, you know? Because I generally try to live stream about 10 anyways. Whether the fish are biting or not. Come on, fish. Where you at? Where you at? I know you're out there. You just ain't cooperating. I'm not seeing a whole lot of fish caught anywhere though. I guess if it's slow for me, it's slow for everybody today, I guess. I know if we get some heat, something's bound to start biting. Warm water fish tend to do that. But I don't know if we're going to get enough heat right now for the live stream or not. Doo 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 doo. At least this week's video will have some fish in it. Last week's video didn't have anything. The live stream did, but the video that I made and put out last week didn't have any fish caught in it. But that's because I got skunked. So sometimes it's that way. Yeah. Sorry if I'm boring you guys. I mean, I got 9 watches, but there's not a lot going on. I'm so sorry if I'm boring you guys. But I am trying here. I am fishing. I am trying to get a fish for you guys. I just want to catch fish for you guys. Whether it's crappie, bass, bluegill, I don't know. Anything that wants to bite. But so far, nothing's cooperating. And that does not make me happy. That's the thing about fishing is at any time it could just click on. It's kind of like on Wednesday when I was live streaming. I went for 60 minutes of not catching nothing to all of a sudden it turns on. I catch 4 straight on the live stream and then it just goes dead again. I mean, I still landed another 4 or 5 fish after the live stream, but it just was so much slower. I don't know what else to do, y'all. You know how some of them shows they go 2 hours later, 3 hours later, a few minutes later. Don't know if that's gonna be yesterday. I'm just out here enjoying myself, doing what I always do, fish and visit with y'all and do the best I can. Just sometimes I wish the fish was biting better. How's it going? Yeah, they can be, especially when the water's not quite warm, but it's not terribly cold, but it's not quite warm enough. That's so true. You know, sometimes it's hard to be a fisherman at certain times of the year. You know, it's like the trout like it cold, so when it's cold, fish for trout. When it's hot, fish for warm water fish. And hi, how's it going? When it's warm out, fish for warmer weather fish. You know, they definitely can be picky this time of year. Springtime is so, it can be the greatest and the worst time to fish, because sometimes you go out and they're just fire, and other times you go out and they're just slow. So, oh yeah, but yeah, I just waiting for it to get to that magical water temperature to where both hot water and cold water species are feeding together, and then you're catching a good mix bag, and it's gonna get too hot, and then the cold water fish are gonna be harder to. There's a fish. There's a fish. There's a fish. Gonna be harder to catch. Got him. Got him. That's a good fish. Whatever he is, feels like a good fish, y'all. Feels like a good fish, y'all. Oh yeah, it is. It is too. Oh yeah, good fish. Good fish. Good fish. Good fish, y'all. Good fish. All right, y'all. Took long enough, but we got one. Took long enough, but we got one. There you guys go. Check out that beautiful fish. It's a pike minnow, but it's still a beautiful fish. They're native species. They consider them an invasive species for one reason, because they eat the smaller fish, the trout eggs and the smelt and stuff like that. They're considered an invasive species even though they're native species. People just kill them and throw them on the bank. Please don't do that. I've eaten these fish. They're not a bad tasting fish. I'm going to put him in my bucket, in my basket. He's going to get eaten instead of just throwing them on the bank. I don't see no reason in just killing a fish for just because they do something naturally. So y'all, we're gonna take him and put him in with his buddy, and see if we can't catch another fish. So, preferably a crappie, bass, catfish. But hey, these are still a good eating fish. So enjoy. Next time you catch one of these pike minnow, try them out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Two buddies. Yeah. And if you guys want to see a really good, cool video about how to prepare a pike minnow, I don't know if you guys know anything about Taku, the outdoor chef life. But he's actually done some videos on catching, cleaning, and cooking big minnow. He'll tell you they're not the worst eating fish. So go check out Taku. He's a outdoor chef life in California. You guys want to learn how to prepare fish? I would recommend that you guys go check out him. Or one of these times I'll prepare them on camera for you guys, and then you can guys can just see how I fix them. They're not a hard fish to they're not a hard fish to fix. They're really quite tasty. All right. Finally got one. Yeah, I imagine they do. Imagine they do. I looked up and didn't see my float out there, and I'm like, oh. Next thing you know, I'm reeling in a decent pike minnow. Or as some people would call them, a squawfish, which is really their name, but somebody gets a little offended if I say squawfish. So I'm not gonna say squawfish too often because I don't want to offend nobody, especially the person that gets offended every time I say that word. So I got another one.
Well,
yeah, fishing underneath the float.
oh, float.
Yeah, underneath the float, yeah. With a worm. Yeah. You still got that beautiful in there waiting to. But hey, I want to introduce you guys to my coworker here, on the live stream edition here. Since you guys have never met him in YouTube land, he will be on the video that I'm going to be putting out this week. But I want to introduce you to my coworker. Say hello, Esteban.
Hi.
He's my coworker. He's the one I invited to come out fishing with me today. No, it's Central Oregon. Yeah, it's Central Oregon. Is where we're at. Prineville Reservoir, outside of Prineville. Hopefully my feed's back on because it cut out for a minute and stuff. So I don't know what was up with that, but when you're live streaming, sometimes that happens. Yeah, your feed gets cut out and stuff like that. So. Glad it's working. Thank you for. Yeah, there is a lot of crappie in here. It's just there's a lot of crappies in here, but sometimes it can be hard to find them, especially when it's early in the season. Definitely can make it hard to catch them. So, so. It'll get to that temperature to where the fishing is gonna get to being fire. I just don't know how much longer it's gonna be. Yeah, May is definitely a good month. Usually, the crappie will bite all summer long, even if it gets really hot. It's just finding them sometimes. What it boils down to. But they can be really good eating or really good catching, in this time of year too, if they're heating. But sometimes it's just that way. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. A week or a month or so. Well, last time I was out here 2 weekends ago, it was really good crappie fishing, and the weather's been about the same as it was 2 weeks ago when I was out here. Because I put that crappie video out um, 2 weeks ago, I believe, and we were catching them. So we weren't catching like huge numbers, but we were definitely catching them. So that was one of the pluses of that. But I figured a couple weeks later, they'd be biting better. But everybody I talked to is like, they're not biting too well. They're not biting too well. So it's just kind of the way it goes. Yeah, that's true. You never know with the weather. Yeah, they definitely can drop down into that under stuff for sure. But I was hoping that it was going to be better because it was a couple weeks later. But it's kind of the way it goes. And the sun's finally trying to peek out again. So hopefully it's going to turn on the fish and we're going to start getting bit again. Because earlier when we got bit before the live stream, the sun had poked out and then we'd gotten a couple fish and then the sun went away and then it got slow again. So how many fish you caught today, Esteban? Just one? Yes, they are good fried for sure. They are delicious. Me and the wife, we ate some crappies the other day. What was the Wednesday? I think it was. Took a picture and sent it to my coworkers, and they wanted to eat them, and I'd already eaten them. I was so mean, though. I didn't mean to be mean. I just didn't think they'd be that excited about seeing a couple fried fish. But they were. I was like, yeah, maybe I should have brought some to work. Next time I know. We're gonna probably cook up some fish today. Well, there's no probably. I got two fish in the basket that's gonna be fried up, and but we're gonna wait until later to do that. Come lunchtime or something. It'll be after the live stream. If we were having better luck, I would have done I would have cooked some during the live stream, but it hadn't been that good of luck today. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. I was hoping at least the catfish would be biting better today, but they're not even biting too good today. That's okay. Sun's starting to come out. The fish are going to start getting active, and we're going to start mauling them like they're going out of style. Isn't it, Esteban? He's just laughing at me like, sure, sure. Well, you just never know. You just never know. I'm surprised you guys have stuck with me this long with it being so slow. I mean, after all, we did finally catch a fish on the live stream, so that's also a plus, though. Not too much wind, not enough chop on the water. There's a lot of variations that's causing them not to bite today, I feel like. But when they do start to bite, well, look out. Fish on, fish on. All right, there's a good one. There's a good one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, it looks like a catfish. A good catfish too. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Woo! He didn't even hit the worm. He hit the minnow. No, he didn't hit the worm. He hit the fake minnow I had on. Yeah. Y'all, check that out. I told you that sun was going to make him start getting active. All right. Look at that beautiful catfish. You want him, bud? You want him? Yeah, I'll put him in my basket for now. Yeah, look at that beautiful catfish. Little bitty catfish, but it's a beautiful one at that. Y'all, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Catching them fish like crazy. Yeah. Two fish, and I'm saying we're catching them like crazy. Yeah. Mwah. Beautiful little catfish. Yeah. Let's get back out there. Get another one. That makes me more excited than catching fish for y'all. The thing about it, the shocker is I've got a worm on there and I got a fake minnow on there, and he ate the minnow instead of the worm. Crazy. Nice. That works though. I'm thinking the fish are definitely starting to get a little active now that the sun's come out. What happens when the sun comes out is it makes the water feel warmer, and it does warm it up, but for the moment before it does get warm, because it'll take a couple minutes before it starts to warm up more, what happens is it gives them that fake sense of warmth, and so then they decide to eat. So yeah, we'll take that. We want about 500 more of those though, for sure. Esteban feels like cleaning a bunch of fish today, so he wants about 500 of them. He's like, I'll take them all. So, yeah. I'm almost tempted now to take that bottom rig out and start throwing a plastic worm or something again, because I feel like maybe now with that sun coming out, the crappies and the bass are going to start getting active again. Because this morning when we had that slight window of warmth, the fish started biting. So now that we got the sun coming out again, I'm thinking that it's going to get the fish to start biting again. You went shopping for fish decoys, David? Nice. Hey, David, hit my email up. My wife said she'd send you one of them feathery doodads that goes in your hat. So, David, hit my email up. And I'm going to give you that right now. It's going to be rrkk81@yahoo.com. So, be sure to blast me an email with your address, and I'll send you out a feather that was in my hat. What color do you want? I need to know that. My wife wants to know what color feathers you want for your hat. That way she can match the hat with the feathers. David? make sure you hit my email. It's rrkk81@yahoo.com. She wants to know the color too. So make sure you put the color in that when you shoot me an email with your address so we can send it out to you, man. Appreciate it. Blue, brown, or green. All right. Just make sure you send me an email and I will get that sent out to you. Check this bottom rig because it ain't got bit for a while. Yep, still got bait. So, maybe it was just wishful thinking something bit it and I didn't know it. So, maybe it's just wishful thinking. Throw it out there one more time. See what happens. Relocating it on every cast. That way I get different area. That way, you know, if I'm not getting bit in a certain area, I don't want to just leave it there. So every cast I relocate it to a different area. Boy, it must be pretty deep out there. Is this still dropping? Yep, finally hit the bottom. Took a minute, but it finally hit the hit. All right, there we go. Come on, fishes, cooperate. We need more. We don't really need more, but we want more fish. Thank y'all for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Make sure to share as well, because that helps the channel grow. Nice. Cool. Up here to Prineville Reservoir and camp. That would be fun. Come on, fishes. Start cooperating. We need more fishes. I just appreciate y'all joining us, man. That's so cool. You guys get to share my day and fish with me and interact. That's always fun. I think my thing's all jacked up. Maybe not. Yeah, I thought it was a little messed up. They get tangled up sometimes when you cast them. And you got to get them untangled so you can be fishing properly. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Mm-hmm. All right, I think I got it untangled. Yep, I did. I did. Well, Ron, if you showed up late, you missed out on all the fish being caught. You really did if you showed up late. I know you just came to watch nothing, but still. Oh, that's a nice tent. Wood stove as well, nice. Yeah, Ron always just stops by to see nothing. He's always good to have on the channel. I caught 3 fish today. Headed to Ochiko's, nice. I'm not headed to Ochiko's today. I'm fishing Pine Res, just trying to catch some catfish, fish and crappies and bass. So I'm gonna pretty much be here the whole day, I think. But I need to get back out there to Ochiko's. It's been a minute since I've been there, but sometimes when the crappies are biting, I chase that. Yeah, well, Ron, you know how that goes. Uh, it's a Kodak, nice. Ron don't believe it unless he actually sees me reel it in on when he's there on the live stream. But that's okay. That's what makes Ron Ron. He's a good character. I like him. He comes to see nothing, and then when I do got a fish or I catch a fish, it's a fish decoy. Shaking fish decoy. Yeah, gotcha. Uh, you're just too much fun. Too much fun. I enjoy sharing my day with you guys. So any chance I get to, and I try to live stream twice a week. Once on Saturday and whatever day I do go throughout the week. So next weekend, I think I may land up just going to Ochiko Reservoir because I haven't been there in forever. So Ochiko Reservoir would be a good idea for me to go. I think so. Y'all want to join me fishing next one? Next Saturday, I'll be at Ochiko Reservoir. Yeah, I mean it's not really all that gloomy. It's been like this morning. It was cloudy with sun, and then it went to cloudy and rainy, and then it went to cloudy and sunny, and it's still cloudy and sunny right now. Thanks for watching, dear. I know you like them kitty fishes. David said he wants either blue, green, or brown feathers, deer. So I told him we'd get that sent out to him as soon as he hits us up on email. So if you guys didn't see that feather on the hat, you'll have to go back and watch that video, because that might have just been in a live stream, because that hat I only wear during the week when I'm going to work. So yeah, if you guys want to see the hat, go check out the live stream from Wednesday, and you'll be able to see that. And then you'll know what I'm talking about for the hat. You guys are sticking in there. You guys are troopers today. Still got 11 watchers. Nice. Usually you guys get bored by now and you guys are all gone. Usually by this time I've only got like 2 or 3 watchers. But you guys are fire today. I guess catching a couple fish makes it easier for you guys to watch, I guess. I'm seriously thinking about setting this rod back in the rod holder, reeling that other bait rod in, and going back to throwing a jig or a net or something. Because it's hard for me to just sit here like this. It really is. I like to constantly be moving. Really hard on me to sit like this. So I keep saying I might go back to it, but I'm enjoying visiting with you guys. It's easier for me to visit with you. I'm just kind of sitting here doing this number here. Because technically I'm still doing something other than just sitting here. See, I'm throwing that out there and I'm just kind of bouncing around, and I'm still kind of keeping busy so I don't get too impatient. See, that's what I like about interacting with you guys, is you guys actually make me more patient than what I actually am. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you would, please. That helps the channel grow. I'll continue to repeat that time and time again during a live stream. Usually during a video, I don't generally do that, but during a live stream, I will. Are you bored yet, man? No, not yet. Gonna take that out. Just set it here for now, and yeah, you must not have too good a reception at the house, dear, because your thing keeps repeating itself. All right, so we're back to throwing a crappie jig. So maybe we'll get a bass mixed in there or something. Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. I do believe so. Because that's what it looks like, and that looks like the pump and everything. So I think it might be, to be honest with you. See, basically what I'm doing with this jig is I'm twitch, pause just for a second, twitch, pause, which means I'm probably working it too fast, but I'm not much for working slow, and I keep telling you guys that. Oops. Put that down out of my way so I can cast a little bit better. One of the best things Oregon ever done was decided to make that 2-pole license, so that people like me who ain't good about doing just one thing can take and have more than one rod out. Makes it so much nicer. Before you could have 2 licenses, but after they decided to make it to where you could, I was happy as can be. It's worth the extra money, in my opinion, to where if one thing's not working, I can be doing another thing. I just twitch it a couple times. Take a turn on the handle, let it set just for not even a second, and then start doing it again. That's only for aggressive fish, though, that works on. Not aggressive, it generally don't work. So the reason why I like it is because it's a searching rig. Because when you throw it there, that float's going to be moving around, going to be moving with the currents, going to be moving with the wind. So it really is a searching bait. You know, instead of just throwing it out there and letting it set, makes it, in my opinion, easier to find fish. Yeah, it does make it. It does make it nice. It does make it nice, for sure. Yeah, I got them basin endorsement and everything already. So I try to make sure I got everything. That way I can do a lot more when I'm fishing, you know, without getting into trouble. Yeah, it's hard to go slow, and that's why it makes sense for me to have a float rig and a jig or a micro net or something, because it makes it easier for me to fish instead of just doing one thing all day long or swapping in and out. Because I'll swap in and out, but if as long as I got one rig that's out there that's like a float rig, it makes it so much nicer for me as a fisherman. So much nicer. I remember years ago they tried to give me a ticket for using two poles, and I didn't have two poles out, but they tried to get me for, I guess, the intent, I guess, because I had multiple rods, but I always have multiple rods with me. Doesn't mean that they're all out at one time. So I'm definitely seeing more activity on top of the water now. So I'm hoping the fish are gonna be biting well. My wife took a package of my worms and hid them on me, and I found them. Luckily, I found them plastic worms, curly tail worms. Luckily, I found them. Thanks, wife, for hiding them on me. I just happened to look and seen them. No, yeah, he just bought one yesterday. Nice. It does make for you to have more than one way to fish for sure. It can help you figure them out a lot sooner too. It doesn't always mean that it's going to happen, but it does help sometimes. Yeah, they always want you to spend more money. Seems like. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense too. When you're fishing the reservoirs, they have that two pole license. The Willamette, I believe you can have two rods on in it too. But I think that's the only river that you're allowed to have two rods on, um, which is crazy. You know, in my opinion, it really is crazy to have on the river because they've never done that. But woo, flying. Come on, gotta get it untangled here. There we go. There we go. Now we can get back to seriously fishing, even if the seriously fishing isn't catching a whole lot. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, float rig's always nice because you can throw it out there, not have to pay too much attention to it, but you're going to cover water because you can cast and let the wind and the waves do the work for you. And so you really do cover more water. It's nice. It really is nice to be able to do that. You know, you might be right on that one, Ron. You might be right on that one. You just never know with me. Yeah. Woo! I just about threw myself into the reservoir. Of course, I don't think that'd catch a fish. It might. No, I don't think it'd spook them either. But any hoot. Y'all. Well, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and think. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off here and call it because I think we want to go maybe look at another place to fish and see if we can't get a little more activity. So, um, trust me, if the fish were biting better here, I would think about staying here uh, longer. But they're not the most active right now here. So, a couple flurries here and there, and that's been about it. But I'm thinking maybe go try another spot, see if we can't find more activity. And even though there's been more surface activity, there just haven't been more bites. So, you know, I think Esteban and I are gonna call this live stream done because my battery is getting low, and I can also charge it as well. So, y'all, I really appreciate you guys joining us on this live stream edition. Yeah, I figured you'd fall asleep, Ron. I figured you would. You know, yeah, that just seems like that would be the case. But anywho, y'all, all jokes aside, I think I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna continue to record video, maybe do a catch and cook later. And see, my battery just hit that 20% mark. So I definitely need to get off here. Definitely need to think about putting my phone on the charger. So, y'all, until next time, remember to catch, kiss, and release fish once in a while. It ensures a future fishery for all. So until next time, this is Gman. That's Esteban down the way. Until next time, this is Gman Fishing, and we are out. It's definitely been a pleasure, Ron. Thank you.